Welcome to AnglingBuzz presented by Fleet Farm. I'm Troy Linder. On today's show, we're talking about Canadian fishing adventures. Now for us Americans, more specifically, future Canadian fishing adventures, because the truth is the border will open at some point. And this year, last year, there's been virtually zero fishing pressure up there. You're gonna have two great year classes of fish of all different species, and when we can get back up there and fish, it's gonna be absolutely incredible. On today's show, we're joined by a few guests that have traveled extensively throughout Canada. Our first guest is Brett McComas from Target Walleye. He's fished in Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Well, Brett, what can you share with us about your favorite fishing destination up in Canada?
Man, I cannot wait to get back up to Manitoba because the options are endless and you know that whatever you catch, it's gonna be big. Everybody knows big walleyes, numbers of walleyes, but things like catfish, giant, massive channel cats, tiger trout, where else in the world can you catch a brownie brookie hybrid called a tiger trout on ice in just 3-4 feet of water, or open water throwing jerk baits? You never know if it's gonna be a 40-inch pike, a 28-inch greenback that weighs 12 pounds, or a rare hybrid tiger trout. You just know it's gonna be a heck of an experience, and I cannot wait to get back up there chasing them.
Thanks, Brett. Up next is Tom Newstrom, who has traveled a lot in Ontario. Now, Tom, what's your favorite trip that you've had in Ontario?
Hey Troy, I'll tell you, I love going to Canada. I've been going with a group of guys for over 20 years, and we go up to Dogtooth Lake, just a little bit south of Kenora, about 25 miles. We've caught walleyes in there up to 12.5 pounds, but we catch numbers of fish that are 6, 7, 8 pounds. What a great destination. And that's why we go back year after year for over 20 years. You know, it's a great place to go. But I got to give you another spot, just over the border in Rainy Lake, again in Ontario, trophy crappies. I mean 12 to 15-inch crappies like you've never caught before. And we've even caught a few that touch 16. So you got two things in Ontario that really drags me over the border. I got these monster walleyes up by Kenora, but I got these monster crappies just over the border in Rainy Lake. And I'll tell you what, if you want to go and catch these kind of trophy fish, these are the places to go.
Well, thank you, Tom. Up next is Jeremy Smith from Angling Edge. He's traveled all throughout Canada. Jeremy, what's your favorite Canadian destination?
Well, that's pretty easy for me. I love fishing for big muskies and big northern pike in Ontario's Sunset Country. There are giants that live here, and some of the most famous lakes in the world are here. Lake of the Woods, Lac Seul, Eagle Lake, Wabigoon, to name a few. And not all fisheries up there have muskies, but there are pike in almost every lake up there, and some of these pike can get to be absolutely huge. And now, regardless of what time of year you go, there's an awesome bite shallow in the spring, an awesome bite in the mid-depths in the summer, and then the fall is a great time to catch giants in deeper water trolling. So for me, it's pretty easy. Northwest Ontario Sunset Country for giant muskies and huge pike.
Yeah, you're right, Jeremy. The big northern pike up there and the gigantic muskie, that's a big part of the Canadian experience for many different anglers. Well, stay with us. After the short commercial break, we're talking more about Canadian adventures as AnglingBuzz continues.
Tired of doing this?
Yeah!
Get a can of this and spend more time doing this.
Got one! Yeah! Whoa!
Marine Pro Fuel Treatment helps marine engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Seafoam! Marine Pro, new from the makers of Seafoam. Marine Pro is a complete marine fuel system treatment. Just pour it in. Fast starts and smooth running power have never been this easy. Available now at Fleet Farm.
Northland tackles in the premium hardbait game with the Rumble Crankbait Series. Available in 15 custom artisan colors. All Northland Rumble Series baits are handmade with a unique heat compression molding process that ensures unmatched durability and baits that run true on the troll and cast farther than the competition. You'll discover that walleyes and other species find their unique role in actions simply irresistible. You're going to want to up your game with these new cranks. Fishing is definitely better with balsa.
Like many of you, I've had back issues. From the pounding waves of Lake Erie
to over 30 years of competitive angling
and a lifetime on the water, but not anymore.
Smooth Moves changed the game.
It's a must-have for me and my clients.
It's like my boat is floating on air.
They're easy to install.
Fully adjustable.
It makes a day on the water a whole lot more comfortable.
Smooth your ride with Smooth Moves.
Simple, fast, and easy. This automatic launching and loading system on boat-to-trailer.com makes unloading and loading your boat a breeze on both roller or bunk trailer configurations. This system is a simple one-bolt install. No more hanging over the boat, no more cranking in the boat, and no more wet feet. Speed your boat ramp time by visiting boat-to-trailer.com.
Welcome back to Angling Buzz. Right now it's time for our Timely Topics feature. And we're going to talk about some different Canadian experiences that are available. And these differ from easy drive-to destinations to remote outpost cabins via fly-in. You can train in, you can also camp, you can drive an RV up there. There's a variety of different adventures that can fit virtually any budget. Over the years, I've traveled throughout Ontario experiencing some great fishing adventures. Unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic, that put a damper to that. Not only my trips up there, a lot of people, their annual trip north of the border has been canceled. Now, what makes a good trip up there? Is it good company? Is it catching big fish? Is it catching a lot of fish? Is it the shore lunch, the scenery? Well, I'd have to say it's all of the above. These are the experiences and memories that last a lifetime. Now let's take a look at a variety of different trips that are available in Canada. If you want to go big, there's a lot of 4-star lodges north of the border with great fishing, guides, luxurious accommodations, and even gourmet food. Many of the higher end camps have unbelievable chefs, not to mention quality fishing, amenities, and overall service. If you want more of a drive-to warm family resort atmosphere, that's available also on many different fabulous lakes with great fishing opportunities. For the more adventurous, a houseboat can be a good way to go. The nice part about a houseboat trip is you have a mobile cabin with all the necessities of home directly around fantastic fishing. I went on one of these trips a couple years ago with a number of buddies on famed Lac Seul, and it was awesome. And this can be very affordable when you're splitting the cost of a trip like this between 6, even 8 or 10 people. Now, fly-in lodges are another option. In many cases, you can select the number of guests or just have your private lake all to yourself. A lot of these fly-in lodges have both housekeeping and American plans to accommodate your variety of needs and budget. A remote outpost camp is another fun way to go. Generally, you're dropped off via a float plane at a cabin on a wilderness lake of your choice with all your equipment and enough supplies, food, and gas to last for days. For those who want to get away from it all and just relax, this is tough to beat. As you can imagine, most of these lakes see very little fishing pressure, and that means some great fishing. Now, one point I would quickly like to make is if you haven't been north of the border in recent years, there are a lot of lodges and camps that have self-imposed rules about the size and number of fish that can be harvested that differ from provincial rules. The main goal here is not only numbers, but big fish. And since implementing many of these rules, the camp operators have seen a dramatic increase in both size and numbers. Well, of course, an important part is narrowing down what you want to fish and when you want to fish for them. A lot of operators up there, they're open 4 seasons throughout the year, from open water in the spring, summer, fall, into ice fishing during the winter. I know I'm really excited to get back up there. I can't wait. It can't happen soon enough. Well, stay with us. After the short commercial break, we got our Buzz Bite reports as Angling Buzz continues.
In 2020, Minnesota watercraft inspectors found that 97% of boaters were doing their best to prevent the spread of aquatic invasive species. In short, drain plugs were removed. No standing water was inside the boat, and no zebra mussels or plants were found on the boat or trailer. Thanks for following these simple habit-forming rules. Clean aquatic plants and animals from boats, trailers, and equipment. Drain all water from motors and live wells. Remove all boat plugs and dispose of unused bait in the trash.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
You can't choose the weather, but you can choose outerwear that works. Technical apparel, rain gear, soft shells, sunwear, when you need to stay comfortable all day, choose Blackfish, because you can't choose the weather.
Lake Vermilion. Explore. Relax. Reconnect.
Minnesota's most beautiful lake.
Get hooked on our trophy walleye,
That's a beauty.
bass,
My favorite fish.
musky fish,
That's a beauty there.
Things to do? You'll never get bored.
Rooms with a view? We got 'em.
Lake Vermilion. 4 seasons of fun.
Welcome back to AnglingBuzz. It's time for this week's Buzz Bite Reports. To kick it off, we're going to join Caleb Wistad in northern Wisconsin.
How's it going, guys? Tonight, my son Jackson and I are doing a little river fishing, and we've just got a pair of St. Croix Triumph 6'6" medium lights here, and I've got a little stick bait Euro Tackle Z-Spender on here, and Jackson's got a wacky setup, and we're just fishing for smallmouth on one of these river spots just close to the road. This is a great time of year to take advantage of all the fish that stack up in these little holes off the side of the road. So, especially if there's riprap like here, you can see the rocks behind us. That's a great spot to cast for smallies. You can catch largemouth, you can catch walleyes, even muskies at some of these spots. And it's also a great time of year to fish below dams and tail races and stuff like that. So, as far as the lakes go, we did some trolling the other day for panfish with little crankbaits. Remember that, buddy? That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We were just trolling mini cranks off the deep edge of the weed line, catching crappies and bluegills and a few bass. And that can be a really effective way to fish for panfish this time of year. And then once you locate a school, you can slow down and cast plastics for them or live bait. So another thing that has been really good right now is the bass fishing. Largemouth and smallmouth both have been hot. The largemouth they've been more on that deep weed edge in like 10 to 15 feet of water, and then the smallies will move up on rock in the early morning, and it can be a really good topwater bite. Get out there and get hooked up, guys.
Thanks, Caleb. Now let's jump over to the Green Bay and Sturgeon Bay area with Dale Stroshine.
Let's start with the smallmouth bass from Sturgeon Bay going up to the very tip of the Dorp Peninsula. Right now the fish are in, they're starting to pull off the beds, and they're just in their summering pattern where they're moving out to the offshore structures, like the islands, any of the offshore humps, along with any of the open water shorelines just outside of the bays. This is where they're going to summer. Now, as far as tips, when you're fishing smallmouth here in Sturgeon Bay, make sure you get in those long casts with this gin clear water. Absolutely imperative. Play the wind-blown shoreline or get up on the face of the structure where that wind is blowing into if you want odds-on favorites as far as locations for locating those bass anywhere offshore. The other thing to remember is when it's calm out, play to the finesse type of presentations, Ned rigs, wacky worms, drop shots, and or topwater. When it goes to a chop on the water, go over to reactionary type of things where you're casting and retrieving as far as square bills, lipless baits, spinner baits, any of these swim baits, any of these types of things are going to work really well on a straight retrieve. Tight lines, everybody, and have a great day.
Now let's head over to Leech Lake with the Leisure Outdoor Boys.
We're in the dog days. Dog days out on Leech Lake. It's never a bad idea to be thinking crankbaits. There's a crankbait bite that develops all over the main lake, whether it's the sand areas around Goose Island or even the rock areas. Typically, I focus on the sand areas around that Goose Island area, snake pits, or the long point that runs from Ottertail all the way to Duck Point. You got some nice sandy areas with weeds. They're gonna be in there chasing crayfish. They're gonna be in there chasing bait fish. So it's a great time to just set up, start pulling some cranks. I tend to focus on, kind of an orange color, the shad wrap, or making sure I give them another color, purple, blue, whatever your fancy is. If you go through those fish and you know there's fish there because you're marking them, then don't give up. This is a time of year when they have plenty of options bait-wise. They can feed on whatever. So if I've run through them a few times with cranks, they don't want to go, I'll tend to back off with them. Everyone knows to cast jig wraps, okay? The other thing never to forget is the rip and wrap. It's always a good option, all right? Get out there, make memories, and enjoy all Leech Lake has to offer.
Now let's head north to Lake Vermilion with Billy Rosner.
As we get into late July and into August here, I can't emphasize enough on your electronics. Transitions, you've heard me say transitions many times over again, and it's really important this time of year, whether it's rock to sand, rock to mud, all those sort of things are just really important. It could be a weed edge, or it could be, like I said, a rock edge. And a lot of times those fish are going to be shallower than you think. A lot of transitions right now, we're finding walleyes from 15 to 18 feet. You can't get them going on live bait rigs. Throw your jig and wraps, and don't forget the hair jigs. These new bucktail jigs by VMC and the moontail jigs are really hot bait right now. You fish them this like a jig and wrap, really fast and really aggressive, and that'll get some walleyes in the boat for you. Have a great week, and most of all, have fun out there.
Looking for the perfect fishing vacation? Leech Lake, Minnesota. There's over 112,000 acres of water to explore with fantastic walleye, bass, pike, panfish, and trophy muskies. The fishing opportunities are endless. Leech Lake has it all with over 30 resorts, lodges, campgrounds, and hotels line its pristine shores. Plan your trip. It's Minnesota's original up-north vacation destination.
Customer first. That's their mission at Dondelinger Auto. It's not just about the sale. It's about giving you peace of mind for as long as you own that vehicle. Dondelinger is home to the lifetime powertrain warranty for new and pre-owned vehicles, plus 10 years of roadside assistance. They have an incredible variety of the most popular vehicles and offer pickup and drop-off for service. Stop in to experience the Dondelinger difference today.
And now it's time for our cool products brought to you by Fleet Farm. We're going to start out with the Rapala Rip Stop Deep. You can see the tail design helps stop this lure very, very quickly, hence the name Rip Stop. And this is the new deeper running version than the original Rip Stop. This is great for, bass, smallmouth, walleye as well. Great colors and a nice, profile shape to this, the Rapala Rip Stop Deep. And next, a couple options from Northland Tackle. We're going to start out with the Rumble Beast. This is the size 8. This is a pretty big bait. This is great. You get muskie on here. Definitely pike. This is a great northern pike bait. You can cast this. You control this. This has the lip locking technology up here. You can see how the lip is really integrated into the bait to have it running true and strong for aggressive big hook sets and bouncing off rocks. This is the Rumblebee size 8. It also comes in a size 6 from Northland Tackle. Also from Northland Tackle, the Rumble Shiner. This one's the size 10. You see these nice patterns on here. This is perfect for, I look at this for trout fishing, but definitely, for walleye, bass, smallmouth bass would definitely hit this. You can cast this, you can long line troll this as well. And these are made of premium balsa, and they have a through wire construction, so the line tie all the way down where the hooks are attached, it's all connected, very durable, great running, great action on these. The Rumble Shiner from Northland Tackle. And next for fishing line, this is Suffolk's Advanced Fluorocarbon. I use this a lot. I use both the 8 and the 6 a lot for some of my finesse fishing at 6 pound. And then all around bass and walleye fishing, 8 pound is great. You can use, also 8 pound is great for leader. If you have braid mainline and use an 8 pound fluorocarbon leader, fantastic for snap jigging. And then just straight regular 8 pound fluorocarbon for a lot of different options. And then using heavier, 14 pound to 17 pound if you're throwing spinner baits, and for crankbaits, just a really good fishing line, Suffolk's Advanced Fluorocarbon. Also, one thing I do want to mention to clear the structure of fluorocarbon almost makes it invisible underwater because it's almost as dense. When the light passes through the line, it passes through very easily underwater. So that's another great option for having fluorocarbon along with the durability and castability and abrasion resistance. And for reels, this is the Daiwa Laguna LT2500, a great value reel. There are some other options from Daiwa at Fleet Farm, and especially this 2500 series. LT stands for light and tough. This is a great all-around reel for bass and walleye fishing. 8-10 pound test spooled on here is absolutely perfect. And again, you get the Daiwa quality at an excellent price. And next, this is the Lakes and Rivers tackle bag. This is one of the smaller options for this. This is great for travel, kayak fishing, shore fishing. I'll flip open the top here, and it stores 4 3650 sized plano tackle boxes. You can fit a lot of tackle inside here. You also have pouches on the side and the front, and then easy carry handles, the Lakes and Rivers tackle bag. And next, St. Croix, I want to talk about the Triumph Series spinning rods from St. Croix. And this particular one, this is a great all-around spinning rod. This happens to be a 6-foot, 6-inch, medium power, fast action. For small swim baits, crankbaits, jerk baits, snap jigging, split shot, and live bait, jig and a minnow. This is just a great all-around rod. In fact, there's a lot of different options available at the Triumph series from St. Croix, and these all retail right around $100, so a great value and great performance in this series from St. Croix. And next to my right down here, this is the Clam Fortis pike and catfish net. I'm going to lift this up and show you this nice deep hoop design, very durable, rubber netting on here. You can keep the fish over the side of the boat as you're working with it, getting the hooks removed. Nice, strong extension, easy to use the extension handle on here. It actually extends out even more. It has an engraved ruler on here, a strong yoke system, and this is great for both pike, especially northern pike. When you're pike fishing, you can fit a big pike in here and keep it nice and safe over the side of your boat. The Clam Fortis pike and catfish net. And lastly, we're going to talk about the Lake Master chips for Ontario, Canada, and Manitoba, Canada. These are very detailed mapping systems for a large variety of lakes, especially the major lakes in each of these provinces. You get detailed contours, and the Lake Master chips, boy, if you're heading up to Canada, you definitely want to have these with. Well, be sure to shop online anytime at fleetfarm.com. You can also visit your local Fleet Farm store. And right now it's time for our technique of the week.
Hey, I'm going to show you a simple trick to help clean, protect, and lubricate your tow vehicle. Now, this truck just turned over 100,000 miles this summer, and I know that it's due for some TLC. So for this operation, we only need a few things: a couple cans of Seafoam, a can of Seafoam spray, a screwdriver, and a buddy. Let's get started. I'm going to add 1.5 cans of Seafoam motor treatment to a low tank of fuel. Now in this case, we've got less than 10 gallons in the tank. We're just going to eyeball that. Okay. From there, we're going to add the remaining half can of seafoam to the crankcase. This is the spot where you add oil. And then I'll drive it a couple hundred more miles before I get the oil changed. At this point, we want to be sure that the truck is up to operating temperature and the engine is shut off. Now it's time for the seafoam spray. We'll locate the throttle body, remove the air intake boot, and place the hook guide and cleaning tube about 1/4 inch past the throttle plate. Then we'll reset the boot over the throttle body. All right, and don't apply seafoam spray anywhere upstream of the throttle body, and this process is only for gasoline engines. Now we're ready to have our helper start the engine and run the vehicle about 1,000 RPMs over idle. We're good to go. And from here, we're going to apply the entire can of seafoam spray through the intake. All right, now that we've used the entire can of seafoam spray through the intake, we're going to let this soak for about 10 or 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'll get the spray tube and hook guide out of the throttle body and reinstall the air intake boot. Now, after this hot soak period, all that's left to do is drive the truck for about 10 minutes or so to burn off all those residues the seafoam sprays loosen. Keep in mind, seafoam is made from highly refined petroleum products. You can't add too much of this stuff. In fact, the more you add, the more it works to clean, lubricate, and protect. Now in this case, we've got seafoam spray working to clean and lubricate the top end of the engine. We've got seafoam in the crankcase working to re-liquefy any of those heavier oil deposits. And we have seafoam in the fuel that's working to clean, lubricate, and protect the entire fuel system. This is something that's super easy to do. Anyone can do it, and you'll notice the difference, I promise.
Well, thank you for joining us this season, and be sure to check us out online at AnglingBuzz.com. We're going to continue with Buzz Bite reports, tips, articles, techniques to help you catch more fish this season. And as always, we want to help remind you to help stop the spread of aquatic invasive species. Anytime you leave any body of water, remember, clean, drain, dry. And be sure to enter our sweepstakes online. It ends on July 31st, and you can enter to win a great weekend up on Lake Vermilion. That's a big fish factory. You get a great stay at one of the resorts up there, 2 days of guided fishing, a $500 tackle pack from Rapala, as well as a $500 gift card from Fleet Farm. Well, thank you for joining us during this open water season of Angling Buzz TV. I'm Troy Linder, and we'll see you next time.